Well, hello, class. I hope you are all doing well. Here we are in week 6 and covering chapter 8. That's right, chapter 8. We're going to spend the whole week on chapter 8. Why? Because chapter 8 essentially talks about teamwork. And we all know how important teamwork is. I just shot up to you a I just shot up to you a video of Steve Jobs doing a whole synopsis when he was a young Steve Jobs of how important teamwork is and how important it was getting everyone to make a contribution to that team in their own respective fields, but many of them being technical people. And then they go out and they hire an MBA from Stanford with no experience in engineering, but a lot of experience in organizations and how they should function together. And here we are, fast forward, how many years later, decades later, looking at probably one of the biggest, most successful companies in the world at over 339 and $340 billion of revenue globally. Well, how does that happen? It happens from teamwork. It happens when everyone recognizes on the team everyone else's talents and abilities to be successful. And that is really, really so important. So in this particular chapter, we're going to look at we're going to be tracking the evolution of participation in leadership by presenting different situations that make participation desirable. And we're going to outline the benefits and disadvantages of employee participation on teams. Now, the benefits and steps to proper delegate teamwork as a leader are really important. And this chapter is going to end with a focus on the current use of teams and organizations and their effect on leadership roles. The concepts of self-managed teams, by the way, and self-leadership are going to be presented in current forms of formalized participation. In other words, teams could be departments, could be task forces, could be a lot of things, or there could be informal teams getting together to brainstorm, say on a task force. The chapter has a lot of emphasis on cross-cultural focus. Why? Because the success of participative management, as we know, depends to a large extent on cultural values, norms, things we already talked about, collectivism, and power distance. So the objectives of this chapter are going to be to understand when and why participation should be used to improve leadership effectiveness, to explain the benefits and provide guidelines for delegation, apply the use of various types of teams and self-leadership, and how about lead teams? Leaders can lead teams effectively and manage them in order to avoid team dysfunction. Look at all of the figures and tables that are put up in the analysis of this chapter each day, and there will be 4 DQs as well. Okay, that's just about it. Have a great week, and see you each day online.